Today, we are going to be talking about the game that I have designed and is now getting published and will hopefully be in your hands within the next couple of years. If you don't know this already, I am a huge fan of board game design. I obviously love board games. I've always wanted to do board game design. Ever since I was a little kid, I've designed games, with the earliest one that I can remember being something to the effect of a Candyland spin-off, but it was about basically taking these fantasy creatures and bringing them to their natural habitat. I think I still have that somewhere. I would love to find that, but I'll probably pop up some pictures of some earlier designs that I have worked on and just kind of the journey here, because I've been designing games my whole life. I love game design, and this is a huge passion of mine. There was a video that I released about a kind of teach and play of a game that was a lot bigger, that I'm still working on. I just haven't really touched it in a while, currently called Kalis Prime, and that is a asymmetric kind of abstract strategy game that kind of is a jumpstart into coin games, games that kind of Root was inspired by. And so that game is still in production. That is not the game that got signed, but today I want to talk to you guys about the game that did get signed, that I did finish designing and started pitching, and now is able to eventually get into your hands, which is so freaking cool. And that game is Gawain's Journey. Now, I do also have to state that everything will be changed. Like, this is not the final version of the game. What I'm going to be showing off today is the prototype that I put together and that I pitched. So where the game is currently at time of it getting signed, essentially. If you don't know the legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, a little bit of thematic teaching I shall give you, because the game is very heavily thematic to that original short story. So this is actually an old Arthurian tale that has been adapted many times, and it essentially is about a young knight named Sir Gawain, and he is the nephew of King Arthur. So there are reasons as to why he's a part of the Round Table, but they might be kind of a little bit of nepotism, I guess, going on here. He has not really done anything of great value as a knight. He's not proven himself to be a true knight. Meanwhile, he is at the court with all of these other legends that have done absolutely amazing things in Arthurian lore. And so one day on Christmas, they actually have this Green Knight walk in and abruptly, without basically any warning, ride in on a green horse. And the Green Knight proposes that they play a game. He says, "One of you knights, if you want to play a game with me, shall strike me, and whatever blow that you give me, I shall return the blow 1 year hence at the Green Chapel." Now, Sir Gawain, like I said, has not had any of these crazy adventures yet, and so he kind of sees this opportunity as a way to prove himself. He grabs the Green Knight's axe that he was given, and he chops off the head of the Green Knight, thinking that he outsmarted the Green Knight, because now, obviously, the Green Knight can't return the blow in a year. Well, the Green Knight starts laughing, and he picks up its own head and gets on his horse and rides off saying, "I'll see you 1 year hence at the Green Chapel, Sir Gawain," essentially. And so Gawain's Journey, this game, is about the journey that Sir Gawain is making, going through these trials, trying to prove himself to be an honorable knight and get to that Green Chapel to essentially meet his death. If you have not read this story, I highly recommend reading it. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful book. If you want to read like an in-depth one and not like the kids' story version, the Tolkien adaptation is one of the best, and I highly recommend checking it out. A movie that really inspired me also was the 2021 The Green Knight by David Lowery. It's one of my favorite movies, a top 5 movie of all time for me. I think it is absolutely brilliant, and that soundtrack was on the entire time as I was designing and working on this game. Now, this game is a trick-taking game. It is asymmetric, so both roles in the game are going to be different and play differently. It is cooperative and competitive. It depends on certain things to be true. And so the way that that works is one player is going to be Gawain, and they are trying to get to the end of 5 trials and be more honorable than dishonorable. Now, these trials are going to be different kind of feats that are always in relation to him. The Green Knight character might be one of 2 roles. They could be the Lord Bertilac, and if they're the Lord Bertilac, they are actually working with Gawain secretly, trying to get Gawain to the end of that 5th trial and be more honorable so that they can both win together. But the other thing is that the Green Knight might be Morgana. And if the Green Knight is Morgana, she is actually trying to get Gawain to the end of that 5th trial, but be dishonorable. And in that case, she would win alone. So, like I said, it could be cooperative, it could be competitive. It depends on kind of what role is randomly decided for the Green Knight. So it is also a social deduction game at 2 players, which is really, really cool. I was very proud of it. So there are 4 suits in the game. The 4 suits are all kind of in relation to items within the story. So we've got the green sash suit, which is the most powerful one. I'll explain why. The ring suit, the skull suit, and the sword suit. And they kind of have 2 colors. So the kind of warm colors are in association to kind of human and knighthood and chivalry. And the green colors are in relation to the magic items in the story. So these are kind of related to Morgana in a way. Once again, I'll explain why that's relevant in a little bit. But we've got kind of the green sash suit. So there's not really a proper trump suit, but I guess this is the trump suit in my game. If the green sash is played and it is the lowest value played, it will automatically win the trick. When Gawain does that, he will be gaining a dishonor. So anytime that he would theoretically cheat the game, he gains dishonor. And remember, he's trying to gain more honor than dishonor in order to win. There are also these face cards in the game, and these come in kind of 3 forms. There is, let me pull them up. Sorry, should have been more prepared. There are face cards because the regular suits are 1 through 6 of each suit, but the face cards go up from there. So there is the Fox face card, which is the 7. There is the Bull from the story, which is the face card 8. There is the Lady Bertilac, face card 9, and the most powerful card, which is the face card 10. Now, when you use all of these, except for the Lady of the Lake, they will actually also gain you dishonor. That's kind of like all the little special trick playing roles. But what will actually happen is there's going to be 2 what are called trials face down, and there's going to be 5 piles of this, and one at a time. Gawain and the Green Knight are going to be going on these trials, and they're going to be different challenges that might give more honor or less honor depending on how difficult they are. So for example, there is the trial of piety, which says that Gawain has to win the most tricks, and each of these trials is going to be 6 tricks in length. There's also the Giants of the Moorland. This says that Gawain must proclaim a suit, and the majority of 1 tricks must contain that proclaimed suit. If this is ever successfully done at the end of those 6 tricks, then you're going to get that little diamond amount in honor, which is good for Gawain. If you fail it, though, you're going to be gaining that diamond amount in dishonor. And so that there is higher stakes for the more powerful ones, like, let's just say, courtesy, for example. This one says that Gawain must win only 2 tricks. And if they're able to do that, they're going to gain 2 honor here. So you're going to keep continuing on. However, the Green Knight, one part of this asymmetry is that they're going to be looking at 2 of those trials and choosing one for them both to go on, not revealing the other one to Gawain. And so the Gawain player might be thinking, okay, they played this one to help me. Oh no, maybe they played this one to harm me. And that's kind of a bit of the social deduction at play. And another element of the asymmetry that comes into play is that the Green Knight has, they're so powerful. So in order to make this game fun for them, they want to make the game a little bit more difficult for them in some ways. And so how they do that is they have what's called a restricted suit. Now there are these tokens that are one of each of the suits, and for the first 4 trials out of the 5, they are going to be looking secretly at what that restricted suit is, and they have to pretend that that suit doesn't exist in their hand. This can be a thing that they can use to their advantage to kind of trick Gawain into thinking that, oh, I couldn't play this because I didn't have the right suit. But it's also a way that actually genuinely limits them in some ways and can make some choices very, very difficult. At the end of each of these rounds, you're going to have cards left over in your hand, and you are going to be each setting aside 1 card underneath a pawn. That pawn will just basically lock that aside. And what's really cool, in my opinion, about this is that these are 4 different things. Gawain is trying to reach 12 in the value of 3 cards. So basically have 12 or more in card value out of the 3 cards that they will eventually set aside. But the majority of those colors must match the role that they think the Green Knight is. Warm for the Lord Bertilac and cold for Morgana. So they're going to be bidding essentially on who the role is. And throughout the game they might make, some minute adjustments. The more powerful cards they put in there, the easier that bid is to make, but they won't be in the circulation of the tricks either. And then the Green Knight will be setting aside cards, but for a different reason. If they are Morgana, they might be setting aside cards that are very powerful for Gawain to use during his journeys, but that might be too obvious, and so they might be putting away cards that would be easy for them to guess that she was Morgana, to make it kind of obvious that she is Lord Bertilac. If you're Lord Bertilac, you might be hiding cards that are harmful to Gawain, and so more of that kind of social deduction stuff that will be going on, that Gawain is trying to figure out and see what is getting out of circulation and what is coming back into circulation throughout the game. And so you'll be kind of setting aside cards, playing through these trials, and if at any point Gawain wins 3 of these trials in a row, then the Green Knight has kind of failed to teach Gawain a proper lesson, and Gawain will actually walk away from the honor system and win alone. So no matter if the Green Knight is secretly Lord Bertilac or Morgana, they are going to try and make sure that Gawain fails some of these trials in order for them to learn the lesson of how to be a proper knight, because you must learn in failure as well as success. And so there is going to be a lot of moments where it's hard to tell whether that Green Knight character is working for Gawain or not, because you're going to be losing some of those trials if that Green Knight player is playing well, no matter who they secretly are. So then at the end of all things, you'll get to the end of that 5th trial and you'll look at your honor and dishonor, and if you have more honor, you're going to be good. But there's one thing that happens before, and that is that Gawain will reveal their bid of 3 cards, and if they have reached 12 or more, and they are correct in which role they think that the Green Knight is, they're going to get a boon of 3 honor. If they're wrong, they get a loss of 3 honor or 3 dishonor, respectively. And so oftentimes the game will get to this climax of that 5th trial, and the choice is what matters, whether, him and Lord Bertilac walk away as a cooperative win, or he loses because he guessed wrong and Lord Bertilac didn't convince enough, or he defeats Morgana from her trickery and guesses correctly that it was her all along. And so that is basically what the game has. There are some special cards that are special rules, and I do want to talk more in detail about some of the other stuff in time, because I do want to do kind of some development updates. But just really quickly, some exciting things happening here. What I will reveal to you today is that it is All Play that is signing this game. So this will be produced by All Play, the same company that has brought many good trick-taking games, one being a 2-player trick-taking game called Sail, a fantastic game. So to be amongst the legendary lineup that they already have is so humbling. And I really hope that me discussing this game with you and kind of talking about a little bit of how it works, I hope it excites you. I hope it makes you want to design something or be interested in the journey as I go along it. So another thing to check out is the channel Taylor's Trick Taking Table. He is actually going to be the developer of this design. So we've got a fantastic grouping right now. Cannot announce the artist yet, but I will say it is going to be some fantastic art. This game is going to be absolutely beautiful, and I think it's going to blow people away. So I hope that this video, like I said, excited you about this. If you are interested in kind of discussing the game and talking about its development, you can actually check out my Discord down below. We have a whole channel for design, and one of those kind of little outlets is about this game, Gawain's Journey. So if you want to head on over there and get some updates, or at least just talk to me about it, if you have any questions, that'd be a great place. You can also ask any of those questions down below. I'd love to talk with you down there as well. But hey, that is it, and that is all I got for you today. Thank you guys so much for all the support, for watching, and I will see you next time. Let's go ahead and drop the beat.